Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Mace. I'm coming to you from a small town in Canada on the southwest portion of British Columbia. And today we're looking at the dumbest and stupidest things Americans believe about religion. Listen, here's a little tidbit. I went to church last Sunday. Now, you might ask yourself, I didn't know he went to church, but I didn't really go to church because I was there for work. I was being paid. I was supporting a client that I work with to attend church. And let's just say it was an interesting experience. I probably hadn't been to church for like a mass or like a sermon, like all of the terminology, all the wordage, I don't really know. But the point is, I hadn't been to church since I was probably like 8 or 9. And that's when my grandma wanted me to go. And it was like around Christmas time, I think. And we went to church one day. So I didn't really have very much memories of it. But it's a Catholic church. And, it wasn't that weird. It was, the music kind of sucks. I think they could have nicer melodies. Some more variation. Maybe some instruments. It seemed like all the melodies were very similar on all the hymns or like the little songs that they sing, which is fine. That's just one thing that I noticed. And other than that, the people were very nice. People were very friendly. Some might say like, I don't know, like when you're in a church setting, you kind of, as a non-church going person, you kind of have your guard up about people being so friendly, because usually when you're out in the world, like people aren't that friendly. But are the church people weird, or is just my bias of like not being a church going person that people are so like overly friendly and like, oh wow, you're new here, I've never seen your face before, are you from here? Oh wow, that's amazing. It's amazing to see young people coming to church. I'm just so happy to have you here, and welcome. I welcome you, and I hope you keep coming. Just enjoy, and we'll have coffee and refreshments after the mass, and yeah. Very friendly people. But yeah, let's see this. The problem with religion, all religions, is when people are bigots, zealots, arrogant, and religious fundamentalism. Like all of those things, and then, yeah, it goes badly. Let's go. Babble, rabble, rouser.
I once met an American who sincerely believed that Christianity was invented in America. And when I tried to explain that it originated in the Middle East about 2,000 years ago, he got defensive and said, that's fake news. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
That's not fake news.
A tourist from Texas asked my Muslim friend if Ramadan was that thing where y'all dress up like ninjas and summon the moon god. She was completely serious, sipping her iced latte like she just asked a normal question.
Ramadan's when that month where Muslims don't eat, right? Or they only eat at night? I can't remember what it is.
I had an American
fast.
coworker who thought Catholic and Christian were two completely separate religions that competed against each other for followers, like Pepsi and Coke. An American woman once told me she couldn't visit India because she was allergic to Hinduism. When asked what she meant, she said, all the spices and chanting give me migraines. A guy on Facebook once told me Buddhism can't be a real religion because they don't believe in Jesus, heaven, or Walmart. I think that last part...
Wait, they don't believe in Walmart? Wait, Buddhism can't be a real religion because they don't believe in Jesus, heaven, or Walmart. Is Walmart like a religious movement in the States?
Was unintentional truth. My neighbor proudly told me he was open-minded about religions because he celebrates both Christmas and Halloween. A college student once told me he doesn't trust Jews because they killed Jesus. When I reminded him that Jesus was Jewish, he blinked and said, that's impossible. Why would he kill himself?
Ask Mel Gibson about that. An American tourist in Rome asked a local priest if the Vatican was basically like the Disney World of Christianity. That's pretty funny. The priest smiled politely, but you could see a small part of his soul leave his body.
American tourists in Rome asked a local priest if the Vatican was basically like the Disney World of Christianity. The priest smiled.
I don't like this AI voice. I think I'm just going to turn this off and read them myself. All right, let's go to the next one here. Come on. I once had someone tell me that atheists can't get married because the church won't let them. When I asked what church, they said the government one. Americans in their love. A lot of church-going folks voted for Trump, I'm sure. A woman in a Bible study group said earthquakes happen because God gets mad when people forget to say grace before eating. She was dead serious, and half the group nodded in agreement. That's true. That is why earthquakes happen, actually. Just to let people know, in case you didn't know, earthquakes happen when you don't say grace. So make sure you say grace. I met a guy who claimed Muslims pray to a golden cube somewhere in the desert. When I showed him a picture of the Kaaba, he said, yeah, that's what I mean. It's basically idol worship. A lot of these are making me think of various South Park episodes. South Park can't really go after Muslims. I guess they did go after Muslims in the early days, but they kind of steered away from that. They kind of steered away from going after religions in general, I guess. Now they just go after easier targets, I suppose. But still love South Park, absolutely. The Mormon Joseph Campbell. Is it Joseph Campbell? I think I'm wrong on that one, on the name, but dumb, and just what they actually believe, as well as the Scientology episode, absolutely classic. Xenu. Like, what a scam. L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer, wrote all these ridiculous science fiction novels, and then created a science fiction religion, basically. And, Tom Cruise, biggest movie star in the world, he's out there. Remember when he jumped on the couch? Good times. An American once said to a Buddhist monk, I love how your people worship Buddha like he's a fat Santa Claus. The monk smiled, probably out of centuries of practice patience. Fat Santa Claus. A woman in a grocery store told me she doesn't vaccinate her kids because, oh God, I don't want to get into vaccine. God made the immune system. I wanted to ask if she also refused glasses because God made eyesight, but I value staying alive. You don't want to get shot. There's annoying people on both sides of the vaccination kind of debate. I don't know. There's a lot of vaccinations that you got when you were little that yeah. It's just, I'm gonna touch that one with a 10-foot pole, I tell you. Someone told me the Mormons aren't Christians because they live in Utah. That was their entire argument. Geography apparently defines theology now. I once saw an American online claim that Jesus spoke English because he's from heaven, and English is God's language. When someone replied in Hebrew, she blocked them for mocking God. Oh, religious people. A man at a barbecue said that Jewish people don't believe in Christmas because they don't have snow where they live. The worst part, he was trying to sound educated. That's why I'm not an overly religious person. I'm not a religious person at all, actually. I don't know. I don't think about it that much. It's an annoying thing to think about because, people ask, oh, what do you think happens when you die? And da 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 da. It's like, whatever. Just live your life while you're here to the best of your ability, and then I guess you'll find out. But be kind, be good to people, do the best you can. Like, don't be an asshole. It's not like that difficult, but apparently the world needs all these books and different beliefs to do simple things. The Quran is just the Muslim version of the Bible that got translated wrong. Like, it was a bad Google Translate job that caused a global religion. A guy in my high school swore that Hinduism was the one with the elephant god who controls the Wi-Fi. I don't even know how to unpack that. I overheard a woman say that Scientology must be the study of science and church when told it's a controversial cult. So how come Scientology is referred to as a controversial cult and the other religions just get a pass? And that's the thing that is kind of ridiculous and a bit hypocritical, especially when people go after and they will flat out just make fun of Christians like hard, but they'll never say anything about like Islam. It's kind of a weird thing. People are definitely touchy around Islam, and I have nothing against Islam. I'm just saying, like, I do notice a difference when it comes to people. They tend to lean to the left, and then it can be the opposite on the right, where like they don't criticize Christianity, but they criticize Islam. But how come Scientology is a controversial cult when really on paper what they purport to believe is not really any more insane than the other religions? But Scientology are nuts, but I just believe all religions in general are insane, especially when used for nefarious purposes like they often are, because people are horrible and absolute power corrupts absolutely. A self-proclaimed patriot told me that Buddhists are anti-American because they don't celebrate Christmas. Christmas is a joke. It's a huge marketing campaign, and I hope all those giant corporations die. He said it's disrespectful to Jesus, who founded this country. But it is annoying what Christmas has become, like a massive, and I think maybe in the current economy, I hope people are more cognizant of like not making it just a giant spending frenzy and listen, little kids, and it's not even their fault. They're like programmed to expect all of these gifts and like they want stuff, but we all want too much. Like we should be grateful to just spend that time with our family and friends, sharing and being present, sharing food, breaking bread, and the whole Christmas becoming this giant Black Friday, and we got to get all the sales and we got to buy stuff and giant lineups at the mall. I will never go to a Black Friday. Like, I don't care. I don't want to go waste money on shit that's going to sit in my house and rot. Like, come on, you guys. Priorities. Jesus founded the States. Yes, everybody knows that. A man on a plane once asked a Muslim passenger to turn off his praying app because he thought it could interfere with the flight system. What? Was the man on the plane, was the Muslim person like looking at an app on his phone? I don't get this. What do you mean his praying app? I mean, if it was using Wi-Fi, I mean, if if it wasn't in airplane mode, then yes, it probably could interfere with the flight system. That's why they tell you to put your phone in airplane mode or turn it off, because cell phones can apparently interfere with parts of the flight system. Although I've had my phone on plenty of times when like forgot to turn on airplane mode or forgot to turn it off, and nothing happens and nobody notices. So I heard someone say that they respect Islam because at least they have one God, not like those pagans with their Greek yoga. What? A tourist once asked a Hindu priest if he could take a selfie with the cow goddess. When told cows are sacred, he said, "Cool." So is this like your version of Chick-fil-A? What is happening? I've never eaten Chick-fil-A in my life. True story. I once saw an American confidently explain online that the cross is a reminder of how Jesus killed the devil with a sword. I don't know how they came to that conclusion, but I want to hear more. Some people, I tell you. A woman asked me if all Jewish people speak Latin, because that's the Bible language. When I said Hebrew, she said, "Oh, so like witchcraft." That's funny. An American told me that Buddhism is dangerous because you open your mind too much and demons come in. When I asked where she learned that, she said TikTok. Well, a lot of stupid people are learning a lot of stupid things from TikTok, and it's basically got a stranglehold on an entire generation. and it's feeding them propaganda every 5 seconds in 5-second bites. Isn't technology wonderful? Someone once argued that atheists can't have morals because they don't have a church to tell them what's right. One of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I asked how he'd know murder is wrong. And if his pastor didn't say so, and he just stared at me like I'd cast a spell. Oh God, this is hurting my brain now. This is too much. Next. A man at work refused to attend a Diwali party because he didn't want to catch karma. Diwali is a Hindu celebration, right? I believe. I overheard a woman say the Bible is 100% American literature. She even added, that's why it's in English. A man said Native Americans should convert to Christianity so they can learn about God's creation of America. I don't think irony has ever been so murdered in one sentence. No, Native Americans definitely shouldn't convert to Christianity so they can learn about God's creation of America. America and colonizers of all different shapes and sizes already decimated enough of Native American culture and people. So, spreading the word of God, right? They need to... Well, I'm not going to get into that right now. God. How awful, like, religion can be is insane. Someone once told me that God lives above the clouds in a big gold castle. And when I asked if that's a metaphor, they said, no, that's where NASA found him. Curious where they got that information from. That's an interesting take. I haven't heard that one before. Sounds pretty funny, though. I met a woman who thought monks take vows of silence because they can't afford microphones. I feel like a lot of these are made up. Where are these from? A guy online once argued that the Bible was written before dinosaurs because there's no way God would create something that big and not mention it. A woman once told me Muslims pray 5 times a day to charge their spiritual batteries. She said it was sincerely. I didn't laugh. Do Muslims pray 5 times a day? Do they have to do it at specific times? Or like, maybe I'll convert to Islam so I can just take more breaks at work. A tourist in Japan asked if Shinto was like the Japanese version of Christianity. But with sushi. I don't even know what Shinto is, to be honest. Sue me. An American man told me that Jews wear... How do you pronounce this word? Yarmulkes? Yarmulke? Is that supposed to be a yarmulke? Is that how yarmulke is spelled? To keep God from reading... if that's how yarmulke is spelled, I didn't know that. I think he might be confusing religion with aluminum foil. Yeah, get a new hat. I'm going to come up with a new hat line of aluminum foil hats for people. Someone once said that Catholics worship Mary, the mother of Jesus, because she's like the version of a female god. A woman once complained that yoga tricks people into worshiping Hindu demons through stretching. Love yoga pants, don't love this take. A man online said evolution can't be true because if we came from monkeys, why are there still monkeys? I told him the same reason there are still Americans and Europeans. What? I don't know what that statement's supposed to mean. I answered a dumb statement with an equally dumb statement. An American pastor once claimed on TV that atheists secretly believe in God because they keep talking about him. That's like saying vegetarians secretly love steak. The stupid thing about this whole debate is like we don't really know. So we don't know. We don't understand the nature of the universe, the nature of our creation. So of course people are going to eternally argue about it. And either all the people that die are like somewhere, you know, they're consciousness, we don't really know what happens. So like the whole arguing thing is like stupid. The people that definitively say, even like Christopher Hitchens, who I love, and I loved watching his debates, but just thinking back on it, like he would kind of defend, and Dawkins and these guys who would kind of act with a very definitive and as if they were 100% right about these things. I don't know. Muslims face Mecca to watch the sunrise from Jesus' tomb. What's scary about Mecca is like when those enormous crowds turn into tragedy and people get like bowled over and die in those crowd rushes. Super sad, but putting that many people in one spot sometimes it's not going to go very well. Someone once said Jews can't go to heaven because heaven is for Christians only. When asked what Jesus was, he said, the first Christian, obviously. I don't even know enough about the Bible or whatever. A guy said he didn't believe in Buddhism because there's no proof Buddha ever existed. Like the dinosaurs. 2 conspiracies, 1 sentence. I'm just curious, where the hell did these so-called statements come from? Is somebody just writing all of this garbage? If it wasn't for the shootings, one would swear the U.S. had no schools. I heard a woman say the 10 Commandments were, what? Written by George Washington? They were, in fact, written by George Washington. An American tourist in Egypt asked if the pyramids were built by Noah to survive the desert flood. How's a pyramid gonna just put all the people at the top of the pyramid? That seems stupid. Just build a boat like Noah apparently did. A man once told me Muslims can't eat pork because pigs are Christians. I do find those like, I don't know if is it just Muslims that don't eat pork? I guess Jewish people have like the kosher thing, right? They can only eat kosher. And then Islam is halal. Is that it? It depends how the animal is killed. I think there's no doubt, like, a lot of religious people look down on non-religious people and, secretly despise them and have a superiority complex and just, yeah. Someone argued that meditation was demonic because when your mind goes blank, that's when Satan sneaks in. I need to develop some meditation to go to sleep. I've been sleeping badly the last couple nights. I don't know why. My mind just like going in a million directions. It sucks. A woman said that Jesus created dinosaurs to test our faith in fossils. And finally, a man from Florida told me he doesn't believe in other religions because God's American and the rest are just fan clubs. Oh, God. I don't know about the authenticity of these. It almost feels like just like somebody prompted an AI to come up with like quotes for this particular thing, but I don't know. Could be wrong. All right. Let me know what you guys think. We'll see you on the next one. Yeah. Peace.